Hello.
Hello. Okay, so we have Erica King here, props mistress for Nebraska Repertory Theatre 2013. So Erica, is this your first season with Rep?
No, it's my second season.
Okay, and was it last season that you were here?
Yes.
As well? Okay, great. Were you props mistress for that as well?
Yes, I was.
Lovely. So, do you have a props team, or are you kind of in charge of everything and executing all of the props yourself?
I'm in charge of everything, but if I need help with reupholstering, or maybe I have to do 50 letters or something like that, I can ask the shop crew, and they will let me borrow somebody.
Borrow some people?
Yeah, but I'm never by myself, but I'm in charge of everything.
Okay, that's nice. So what was your favorite show to work on last season?
I would have to say God of Carnage, just because there were so many props to do, and we had a vomit projector pillow.
I've heard about that one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think that was fun, just to come up with how to do problems. I like to solve problems, and we had a problem with the tulips. They're not in season in the summer, and when I ordered them, we got horrible tulips from the florist, so I had to go buy fake ones, put them in with the real ones, get fake petals, put them in with the fake flowers, so when they whacked each other with them, petals flew all over the stage, but they also had real ones so the actors could play with the real ones. So I think that was the biggest challenge.
Like a lot. Yeah. Oh, that sounds like fun, though. So you just graduated from the graduate program here at UNL, right?
Yes.
How was that experience?
I enjoyed it because I also did my undergrad here and my graduate, so I was able to elaborate on the classes. Mostly the graduates take the same courses as the undergrads, but they have to do a couple more projects, where I was able to do a whole class different than anything else, because I was able to work with the teachers, and they let me do a step above, do an advanced drafting, do an advanced props class, do an advanced scene design class. So I really enjoyed that.
That's very nice. So this year, for this season, which show is the heaviest prop-wise, would you say?
That would be Making God Laugh.
What are some of the props you have to make for that?
Well, the one that's going to be the most fun is that there's a Fantasia dip. Nobody likes the dip, but it's supposed to be grotesque, a cheesy dip that the mother makes every year. Stringy, nasty, nobody likes it, but she thinks everybody loves it. But it's a running joke throughout the entire play. It's at every holiday, and it's a play over decades. So you have the base set, but it starts off in 1980 at Thanksgiving, and then it goes to 1990 at Christmas, then the year 2000 at New Year's, and then Easter in 2010. So you have to have different holiday decorations for those each year, and then everything ages. So luckily they're staying with the base furniture, but we add on decorations to make it look like the different seasons.
Sure, that makes sense. So how are you planning to go about making the Fantasia dip?
Lots of experimentation. The director wants it stringy and orange.
Okay.
So I will go from there, and I'm going to experiment, probably just see what kind of goopy stuff I can find to put in it.
Excellent. Would you say that prop is going to be the biggest challenge this year, or is there one in another show?
Finding period things. Emma takes place in the 1700s, so finding period pieces are a little harder. Right now I'm trying to find a forte piano, which is a miniature console piano compared to the other ones. That's going to be a challenge to find. If I don't find one, a shell of one, I will have to make it. And so we're just trying to find period pieces. Is a little challenging, but I like the research. I'm researching, learning. I never knew what a forte piano was.
Right.
I didn't know what a paint easel looked like from the 1700s, so now I know that. And so I think that working on period shows are a little harder, because you have to search and destroy the props, search and find.
Right.
So that's where I'm in the midst of doing right now, is searching.
Very cool. Which prop are you most excited to make this year?
Probably the dip.
The dip.
Yeah, just to see what people are like, if they can hold their stomachs when I make it.
Right. That will be fun. So how do you decide whether you're going to make a prop or whether you're going to purchase the prop?
First, I look in our attic to see what we have and see if there's anything I could modify.
Okay.
And then from there, I will go shopping to see if I can find it. And last resort is building it, unless it's something that I already know I can't find. Right now, there's an art easel. We have 5 art easels. None of them are period. It's easy enough to build one from the 1700s because it looks easy to build. But the console table won't be as easy. It'll be easier for me to modify something we already have than build it from scratch.
Okay.
So that's what you do, is you look and see what you have, and then you have to have an imagination. You have to be able to look at a picture and go, oh, I can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So in your years as a props mistress, what would you say is the most common ingredient when you have to make a prop? What do you find yourself like constantly reaching for when making props?
Wood.
Wood?
Mostly, you can use anything. I haven't had to make too many things, but like last year for God of Carnage, I had to make shields. You would think wood for shields. Well, actually, I used foam. I curved foam, duct taped it, and then covered it with muslin, and then they painted it that way. It's just that you don't look for a certain material. Hot glue guns are your friends, but you don't look for any certain material. You have to keep your eyes open. Anything can be used. I mean, the last thing that you would expect to use is probably the first thing you're going to use.
Right. Absolutely.
So open-mindedness is the best thing to have.
Oh, good. What has been the most memorable prop that you have ever made? Not necessarily for Nebraska Rep, but just in your years.
When I did London Cuckolds for the university in my undergrad, the costumer had mentioned that the guards had rattles. And when I think of a rattle, I think of a baby rattle. I'm like, what kind of whatever? So I did research to find out what a rattle was in that period time frame. And what it was a clacker, like what you would use on New Year's that goes around, but it was wooden. And so I had a picture of it, and I made it from scratch. I turned the handles on a lathe. I made the base. It looks like a guitar base where it's a wood shell, hollow in the inside, and then you turn it around and you rattle. I think that was my most fun because I actually did all the research and I built it from scratch, and it actually worked really good on stage.
That's excellent. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun.
And I actually have one up in the attic.
Oh, really? So what is your policy on the amount of props that you make? Do you ever make like double props in case one gets destroyed, or is it just once one gets destroyed, you make a new one?
I always make a backup.
Okay.
I always have backup. If we need glasses, I always buy 2. Or, anything, I always have more than one, because in the middle of a show, if something breaks, what are you going to do? I can't go back and make it really quick. So my thing is always have a backup plan.
Good.
And if I make it, I usually making 2. It's easy enough to make 2 as you're making 1. If not, make 3 or 4.
Right.
Because you never know if you're going to get broken. Accidents happen.
Yes, that's very true. Okay. So also, what are your plans for this fall after Nebraska Rep is finished?
I'm hoping to work with the small theaters around Lincoln and build their sets and work with them maybe in props and stuff like that, but staying around the Lincoln area.
Okay, very cool. You obviously have a preference to props over set, correct?
No, actually, props is my secondary. First is technical direction, where I would take the set and build it from the scene designer. That's what my preference is.
Okay.
But I really enjoy props. It gets me away from the shop, the scene shop, and I'm able to use my imagination more.
Excellent. Well, it has been so lovely talking with you.
It's been lovely talking to you, too.